Mauricio Castelletti, you are head of the department that is responsible for the European Year of Rail in the European Commission. What is the story behind the European Year of Rail?
I will explain briefly. We start thinking about this initiative at the end of 2019. So the idea was to have to appoint, let's say, the year as Year of Rail, as we have done before in 2018 for the Year of Intermodality. So to have an initiative set at the level of services. But then we were approached by the Europalia Arts Festival. Every 2 years, this association organizes a program focusing on a country or on a theme. So, and they decided to focus in 2021 on rails. And this was the spark to be more ambitious. So on this basis, we decided to go to the European Parliament and the Council with a legislative proposal. This was done last year, and we took as a basis the year of cultural heritage of 2018. It has been done in a similar manner. So the Council, the institution were very receptive of this idea, so we work very well together, and finally this culminated in last year, so at the end of the year, with a decision taken. 2021 was chosen not in a casual manner, so it will be a very important year this year for rail. It will be the first year for the sustainable and smart mobility strategy. It will also be the first year of the full implementation of the fourth railway package. Also, it will be a year in which the union institution like the European Railway Agency will deploy their efforts as certifying bodies, and also the shift to rail, the research undertaking, will be renovated. In conjunction with this, we have to take into account that this year will be also the year of Europalia Festival. As I said, it will be also the 20th anniversary of the first directive, European directive in rail, which was adopted in 1991. It will be also the centenary of the International Union of Railways, the anniversary of the first ever link between Paris and Brussels, so 175 years ago, 40 years from the TGV, the train the high-speed train in France, the high-speed train in Germany, 30 years, and also 25 years from the Eurostar and the Channel. So this is why we have chosen 2021 as a European Year of Rail.
So it's a big anniversary year, if I understand you well. The European Commission has also launched a mobility strategy, which aims to triple high-speed rail traffic by 2050, and rail freight traffic must have doubled by then. What has to be done to reach these goals?
Yes, indeed. These are ambitious goals, and the question, of course, is: are these goals attainable? So we think so. First of all, let me say that these targets have been set on the basis of a modeling exercise. So they are based on concrete evidence. Of course, I would say there is a sort of reputational risk for rail, because that we should mitigate and remove at best, because how many times in the past we have announced the development of rail, a massive shift of customer from other modes to rail. So in reality, if we look at the statistic, rail is still behind. So there is a kind of flat curve in relation to the modal share. Passengers are still around 8%, and the goods around 19%. The competitors are the usual one for rail freight. I would say the trucks, road transport, and for passenger, of course, rail has a potential to compete with aviation. But we still there is still a lack of performance. There is a lack of coherent rail network. We have to work on this. This is why, to meet these targets, we need a radical change of pace, we believe, of attitude, even of culture in rail. And the year of rail is not only to celebrate rail, it's also a year in which we have to to start this action, to accelerate. We have to draw the attention of all stakeholders on what we should do and to accelerate action. So to meet these targets you mentioned, the recipe is the mobility strategies, sustainable smart mobility strategy. So if you read these strategies, there are all the measures we intend to deploy in the next year. So to allow these targets to materialize. And of course, this requires a very big effort from all the rail community.
And which improvements specifically have to be made to make rail more popular, for example, for passengers and also for to attract more goods to rail traffic?
But let's say that already we know how good is rail in terms of environmental performance. So rail is the most energy efficient transport mode, is a less polluting transport mode, is also one of the safest transport modes. So it has already these credentials, which are very good. And now there is a potential for rail, we believe. Rail is linking many regions in Europe. We consider that there is an untapped potential for rail, which we should build on. We have to consider, for example, the international traffic is still very low, only around 7% for passenger. Half, so 50% for freight, but there is a potential to grow. Let's consider that the network size of the rail in Europe is very wide. So we are of the same size of the United States of America, even before Russia and China. So we have to use this potential. We have to convince customers, so passenger, citizen, and businesses to move to rail. And we have also to consider that the new social attitudes, so young people and also the public opinion is now looking at rail with a positive look. So we have also to consider this. So this is why we have to work on the usual aspects, so to make the network more interoperable, to allow services to compete in a more effective manner. So we have to fully realize the market in rail, the rail market. Only by allowing private investment, we believe rail may compete as on the same footing with aviation and with road transport.
Elizabeth Werner has also said earlier she wants the European kilometer charge for trucks. And she said this could be invested in sustainable mobility such as rail. Why would that be important to do?
But this question is linked to one of the milestones which are in the mobility strategy. In the mobility strategy, we say that by 2030, so more or less in 10 years, the rail should should be able to compete on an equal footing with the road, and all external cost of transport should be covered by users. So it's a concept of a polluter pays principle. So in this light, I think is when we reflect on the charges of a different transport mode, we should also consider that there is a need to internalize in these charges these external costs, the cost of the pollution, the cost of greenhouse emissions, the cost of accident. And this is why a charge which is distance-based for road, and also a charge where the revenues from these charges can be used for a more sustainable mode makes sense. So it's a way to create this level playing field across the modes.
And what are the most important projects the money should go to, in your opinion?
But I think if we are speaking of rail, of course, there are many. We are now completing the network through the Trans-European Transport Network project. So we believe that by 2030, the major links between capitals will be operational. So there are many tunnels which are in construction, still in construction, which should be close. So this will give the possibility to have a very integrated network at European level. So the possibility to travel between capitals will become real. So, but there is also a need also to invest more in digital technologies. For example, the new traffic management system, the safety system for rail, the so-called European rail traffic management system. We are still behind also in deploying this system, and this system is essential because it will increase the capacity of rail. We need, if you want to develop rail, we need more capacity because we have to run more trains. And of course, it's not building new lines. It takes time. So it is time also to make a better use of existing network. And for this, we need these digital tools and also automation. So all these investment may be considered when we use these revenues from other more polluting mode of transport.
On the 29th of March, the European Year of Rail will officially be launched. How will this day look like?
We are organizing this event with colleagues from the Portuguese representation. You know that Portugal is holding the presidency during this semester. So the intention is to organize an half-a-day event. It will be a virtual event. We will open the event. It will be an institutional event. So it will be an institutional kickoff in the meaning that we intend to invite all the rail community, but also to involve all the European Union institutions. We want to be very inclusive and to have a very wide event. It will be opened by the Transport Minister of Portugal and by our Commissioner for Transport. Then we intend to organize a discussion around 3 panels, so involving various experts. A panel on connectivity, so the need of a solid network to link between different regions. Another panel on smart mobility, on the need to deploy innovative services also in the rail. And finally, a panel on social aspects, so how to attract more profession to rail, how to educate for the use of rail, the passenger rights. Finally, there will be a closing ceremony where the chair of a TRAN Commission of the European Parliament and the Commissioner for Cohesion and Reform, the Portuguese Commissioner, will intervene. So it will be a very inclusive event, and I would like to invite all to attend this event. By the end of a week, we will send out a save the date, and so all the details and the program of this event will be known.
That sounds like a very exciting day. I wish you a lot of luck with the preparations. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.